Excuse me.
Okay, now it's on.
6:30, Ordinance Committee meeting. Petitions by citizens on non-agenda items. Rogers Street North Extension Access Control. Everyone got an email, and we all had this. Hopefully everybody got a chance to at least look at it. We'll let JR run over it and go from there.
All right. If anybody needs paper copies, I just printed out a few. If anybody wants it,
All right.
give me an email. This is just modifying the ordinance that we have for going north of Country Club Lane. We did this similar ordinance south for the towards the Wilkie property. This basically just allows a property that's 5 acres or more to have one access point if it doesn't have it already. Just kind of cleans that up and make it.
And we're reflecting the same thing as the county, is that correct?
That's correct.
We're adopting the same thing the county.
Yes, they passed it last Monday.
To stay.
Or Tuesday. Yep. That's correct. So say in conformance with what they have, and we're doing the same thing. So I think I brought this up at the last utility meeting as well.
There's no expiration on this?
There's no expiration.
No, it just perpetuates. Okay.
Unless modified.
Unless modified.
Is there any update on the extension project?
I guess a brief update would be I believe we're supposed to get right-of-way plans by the middle of this month, November, and then those should be able to start acquiring right-of-way. The appraisals are going to be going on at the same time, so that we get appraisals for the Uniform Relocation Act. So.
Anything beyond that is just too tricky to even guesstimate?
It's too tricky right now.
Could we invite the county to one of our meetings coming up if they're going to get these plans back in the middle of the month? I mean, we
can have the county and actually the engineer Gonzalez consultants come.
Or somebody. They've been here in the past, but it's probably been 2 years. I mean,
Be nice to know.
wouldn't be bad. We spent some money again 2 or 3 years ago. If they could give us.
Do we want once we get the right-of-way plans? That seem reasonable once they get.
Yeah, make sure they have them so they have something to present.
Like sometime in December, by the time the meetings come around. Is that early December?
January, whenever makes the most sense.
As soon as possible.
Milestone one.
Yep.
Okay, so on that one, like I said, that one's a little more straightforward. We're adopting the same thing as the county. We've talked about it before. We approved it with the 5 acre property, or I don't remember, they've got a couple more acres. Do we have any more questions about the first item or second item, Rogers Street North Extension Access Control? Can we get a motion or a recommendation?
Of approval?
Yeah.
I'll second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 3, emergency interconnect agreement with Illinois American Water.
Take this one away too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, yeah, you want me to start dancing? Or can
You can do it.
you were the one working on it.
So this is the emergency interconnection agreement between the City of Waterloo and Illinois American Water Company. This is the connection point that our old take point was at if we ever would need water, emergency cases. Here's that agreement in place. It has gone through their attorney, our attorney, their attorney, and back to our attorney. And this is the final product that we came to. So.
Was there anything like this in place prior to us switching? If we would have needed to have an emergency...
They would have worked with us. This is just the formal documentation.
Okay, it's just the formalization.
That's
of
correct.
What could have been done.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting that in the agreement, and again, I don't know about these things, but they have to agree it's an emergency. I guess that's just some legal stuff they had to put in there, but I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of legal stuff in here.
So if they don't agree it's an emergency, they don't get their water.
Right. But I think the EPA would agree it's an emergency too, so yeah.
But yeah, reading through this thing, there's a lot of effects.
Yeah.
If we don't pay, they can disconnect us. Which I think the emergency, they wouldn't be connected that long. Hopefully.
Gary, so I was working with Illinois American on this, kind of followed your question, and they agreed if we needed something for some reason, especially during the transition, this
it's limited to the current rate, whatever the rate might be, there's not a multiplier or anything of that?
It's been a while since I reviewed this in whole, but,
I think it was their current.
yeah, their current central division.
Right.
What rate? Yep.
No emergency surcharge or anything, just flat rate what they charge.
That was not the rate that we had when we disconnected. It would be their current rate if they were still supplying us.
Right.
As long as it's written out. As long as it's written out.
So again, this is something we've talked about a little bit in the past. I mean, it hasn't been brought up recently, but it has came up in some meetings in the past. Fairly straightforward. Hopefully, won't be something that gets used at all or often for sure. Are there any more questions about?
Need a motion to adopt?
We need a recommendation.
Make a
for
recommendation
tonight.
to adopt.
Made by Gary, Mr. Most, second.
I'll second.
Gary. Mr. Hopkins or Mr. Riley, whichever one. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And now we're moving to number 4. Grant of easement agreement with Spectrum.
So this is
Mr. Director of Public Works.
another one here. This is if you've been out to Lakeview Park at all by the dog run, the dog park portion of it, you might see a cable strung on some stakes or across one of the access roads for quite some time. They were originally going to directional bore that. The cable, they're having a cable that was failing, directional bore that through basically our reservoir dam, part of our levee there. So I didn't think that was a good idea. Secondly, I asked for existing easement documents. There are none. So we worked with them on providing a new location, which is on the other side of Cordy Lake Drive. There as you go past the dog park. And this is the final product of that. This was reviewed by their attorney and our attorney as well. And quite a few modifications to this, but this is just to allow them to relocate that existing line that's either on stakes or laying on the ground to this location, and then in the future they could relocate anything that's outside the existing easement into the new easement. And the exhibits towards the back kind of show that location in relationship to the asphalt. And they'd like to start as soon as they can. They'll apply for an excavation permit, and I think they're wanting to get started at the end of this month or early December.
I would attest that the existing cable is failing
That's what I hear. So
rapidly.
So, you feel, I mean, obviously you worked on this one too, JR. And you said
Yes.
everyone pretty much has looked it over in the grand scheme. It'll be a lot nicer than having that cable above the ground
That's
that we've
correct.
been looking at for at least 6 months.
Yes.
At least.
And so just to kind of get everybody up to speed, we will not issue an excavation permit until we get the Roosevelt and Madison excavation resolved. There's a hole at Roosevelt and Madison that's under a steel plate just off the side of the road that we're waiting. Well, we have direction now from them, right, Nathan?
Yes, we do.
So they hit our sewer line, causing the dirt to cave in. So we're waiting on that kind of sort, if you will. We got direction last week.
So there was an issue prior to this where they had a contractor that had the approval to do the placement of lines, but then that contractor subcontracted out again. Okay. So we don't want to deal with that again. So I'm assuming those conversations, like with the steel plate and the cave-in, these types of conversations are being had with this as well.
That's correct. And other excavation permits moving forward. Really trying to hone in on doing the work when and how. So the excavation permits come across my desk, on a regular basis, and I'm reviewing those.
But we also discover people doing excavations.
Yes.
For that. So it's not just just getting the excavation permits, it's actually sometimes just coming upon them doing it and they don't have one.
Correct. But this specific instance was specific to Spectrum
Yes.
doing that, so they didn't follow the guidelines. They're smart enough and big enough to show
Right.
that.
Sometimes it's easier to ask for forgiveness later, but that's, obviously run into issues with that, so we're trying to resolve it. Trying to protect the city, right? I mean, that's the big goal in our residents.
So the easement look good? Any more questions anyone have about it? Do we get a recommendation?
Good. Yes. it
Mr.
does.
Hopkins, second.
I'll second.
Mr. Riley, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5, comments.
I've got a question more than anything, and that is in an upcoming meeting, joint finance and insurance meeting, we're talking about a donation to area food pantries. In the past, when we've made donations that come out of the gambling funds, that's been tied to an ordinance. I think we updated ordinances when we did the non-for-profits, or did we not? I thought we did. And my only question was, should that have been an ordinance committee meeting?
I'm more thinking the splash pad. Did we update the ordinance when we did that?
Can't remember. That's my question. Do one-time disbursements need to go to an ordinance?
I don't think we did with the splash pad, because that would be more of the one-time disbursement, I think. Basically, I'm not sure.
That was actually was different because it was a taxing body giving another taxing body money. So if it went to not-for-profit, that would have actually went through beautification. And I intended to put it there initially, but since we're actually spending money, even though it's coming out of gambling, I thought it best going finance.
I just wasn't sure about the ordinance aspect of it.
No, it's a good question.
I thought we had adopted an ordinance for the 501c3 project donations. So I just wanted to.
Maybe.
I'm not sure
Unfortunately.
it falls into that category.
But to your point, the ordinance, I believe, does say how we're supposed to disperse the money, so we probably would have updated it to include that. And on something like this, do we have any discretionary where there's a certain amount? Definitely something we can look at.
We should. I think we should look at that. Okay. That's all I got.
Anyone else in the comments? Going once, going twice. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Mr. Hopkins and then Mr. Most. All in favor?
Aye.
We are at 6:43.